Okay, so here we will see TMS and how we can access TMS and what it is used for. So TMS is Cisco Telepresence Management Suite. It is a server-based application that act as a central point of control for various telepresence components and systems. So it has some applications, some protocols it use are SNMP, HTTP for its operations, HTTPS specifically. Yeah, so these two SNMP and HTTPS relationship with both endpoints and infrastructure devices is created, and it has the ability to perform various functions like backups, restores, upgrades, and to push configuration templates to any installed devices. Its main function is for scheduling applications and allowing the automated scheduling, starting, ending conferencing, uh, finally we use it to push the customized phone books. That is a very unique and important feature that we use through the TMS. So phone books to endpoints. For phone books there are different sources available, like we can extract that from CUCM, from any external directories, that we will see. So that's what we can do through TMS. So it is a server-based application as a central point of control. So it is a device which is centrally controlling the telepresence components and systems, the servers as well as the end devices. So it gives a central interface to connect to all of these. So what is it? It is used for system management, conference booking and scheduling is a very important feature of it. Fault management and reporting. So within a TMS, you can perform fault management. It gives you tickets. So when you go to the reportings and fault management section, you can see if there is any fault, and using that, you can fix it. You can see reporting of the live data. Phone books can be imported, and even manual phone books can be created using TMS. Third-party integrations is supported. So yeah, this is important to understand that what TMS is, and TMS is basically a control application, and in that it sends the commands, it controls the endpoints, and receives the feedback information, all of that communication from endpoints and the systems. But in no way it is aware of the call signaling that occurs between the call device or the control devices endpoints. That is not the task of TMS. It is the controlling, management, and reporting and things like that. Scheduling meetings, that is the main function of it. So for the call control devices or call control, we need to have integrated the CMS with Expressway or SAP clients like CUCM. So based on the requirements, if you want like business to business communication, you need to have an integration with Expressway. For internal users or for various services internally to import users based on numerics, DNs and so on, we need to have integration with CUCM. So that is it about TMS here. So let's move on and see what else. So system management, this is just a pane that you can see within the TMS, that it provides a system management to manage individual systems. Systems can be like CUCM, Expressway, like I mentioned. Then it has conference booking and scheduling. This is the one very commonly used where you book and schedule meetings. Yeah. Phone books option. So for phone books, we can create manual phone books. We can import phone books from CUCM, from Expressway, from external directory like AD. Then it has fault management system in which you can see tickets along with their level. And you can see what type of tickets they are, and you can fix it. And this is where you find it in the summary page. You can find tickets, and under tickets, you will see any warnings or errors, because different types of ticket levels are there. There can be warnings or just some system error or something, that all along with the level you will see here. Yeah, we can click edit settings and we can customize the settings of the call management, also of the ticketing. Then reporting, a reporting option is available to monitor and get a report generated for, let's suppose, bandwidth or all endpoints utilized and MCUs connected and so on. Third-party integrations like Office 365, API, Exchange server, these are supported. Now, let's suppose if you want email integration, so for that purpose, Exchange would be required. If you want calendar information, Office 365 would be required. APIs to configure any additional configurations through APIs can be done as well on this. This is the TMS architecture. So it can run on Windows Server. Now we have the VMware appliance as well, like the other servers. It is having a SQL database, in which it has the database stored. It is also having a browser-based administration, which was not there before. I think 2.7 version browser-based was not available for TMS, but now we have. It supports HTTP, HTTPS communication with the endpoints and with the other systems, UCM, CMS, using HTTP, HTTPS, SNMP, or APIs for control. For TMS installation, the version 15.12, it requires Windows Server 2019, 16, or 12, .NET Framework, Microsoft SQL, network access to management devices, license and option keys for a TMS are required. And recommended server installations are the Active Directory for users, mail server to enable TMS to send emails, and domain membership. And as per the version, you have to see the documentation and what all features would be supported. Then, as we discussed about the phone books, there are different sources for phone books, like these. So to have these phone books on devices like TMS booking portal, you will find it in the TMS when you log in the web browser to the TMS. You can go to bookings there, and there you can see the booking for TMS for conferences. You can see endpoints also. These are the two uh, tabs available in the TMS in which we would want to have the phone books information imported. So we can create multiple phone books, and the phone books can be imported from various sources. Either you can manually create. So for that, you have to select an option of manual entry. And it's not that if you have selected manual entry, you cannot have the automatic integration with other systems. You can have different phone books. Let's suppose one normal entry with manual configuration, one imported through CUCM, and one phone book from external database. All will be supported and work consequently together. So CUCM can be a source, external database like Active Directory, Expressway, TMS, another TMS can be a different source. So let's suppose one TMS to another TMS, if also you want to import the phone book, that can also be done. So these are the various sources for setting up the phone books in TMS. So as it configures the conferences, scheduled conferences or one-to-one conferences. So conferences of the different types that the TMS can support and configure are point-to-point, the conferences hosted by CMS or hosted by multi-site endpoints. So all these types are used. We can change it to use, let's suppose, just the conferences hosted by CMS and disallow the point-to-point conference and just keep it for the CUCM, the point-to-point calls you have in your network. Then call launch options. For call launch, we have different options. Like let's suppose we have created one conference and we want that conference to be automatically connected as soon as the administrator just pushes and creates this conference and activate this conferencing. So there are options for call launch like automatic connect, one button push by clicking. It will just not automatically launch. It will give you a button to launch it, and that is just one button push. Reservation, reserve it for a particular time. No connect, just create conference for like reporting or monitoring purpose, testing purpose. We can do that, but we can enable no connect so that no users will be connected and the conference will not take the bandwidth. Manual connect. So in that case, you will have to manually launch the call, then only the conference will be up and not based on any reservation or scheduled time. Then these are the scheduling options, new conference options. You can give title to the conference, type of the conference, which can be automatic connect, one button push that we just saw, manual connect, no connect, or reservation. Owner of the conference option, we can select that who would be the owner of this conference, who will be given the owner rights, like the admin rights, to add other users and do any specific configurations or features that we have provided to the owner only. Start end time, we can configure for that conference, duration of the conference, recurrence, whether we want it to be just a one-time conference or it has to be recurring conference. For example, let's suppose like a week, like we have this recurring meeting for 5 days, yeah, things like that. Then some advanced configurations we can do within the conference options. Email notifications. So for these conferences, like we receive email notifications with the link and to join the conferences and so on. For that, the integration with Exchange is required, Exchange server, yeah, for emails. And the conference is created on TMS, and then the emails are sent to the conference creator, conference owner, and any other user who has ever updated that conference. All right, so that was about TMS. Next, let's just discuss about telepresence conductor operation, and then first we'll do the lab for TMS and then for the conductor also. So what is telepresence conductor operation and call behavior? So like CMM, you just asked. So same way we have telepresence conductor, which is used as a conductor to operate it for multiple ways. Let's see, and for multiple purposes. So what it does is telepresence conductor we use to treat multiple telepresence servers as one resource pool. So again, like TMS, it is a central point, central device which can control the multiple telepresence servers, and it treats the multiple telepresence server as one resource pool. So from there, you can manage with the help of a centralized database, multiple telepresence servers, and their management can be done. It dynamically selects the most appropriate bridge resource based on geography. That is a default function of it. It has automatic cascading between the telepresence server. So it just makes a connection between them and maintains a keep alive between the servers, the telepresence servers, multiple which are being operated from the conductor. Conference personalization, we can customize and edit conferences in telepresence conductor, which is supported, giving a consistent user experience. It support ad hoc and rendezvous conferences. Now, what is that? So ad hoc conferences are basically something like, let's suppose I have started a conference and I'm in the conference. I am Jyoti, there is Sashi and Vinay. Now, I want to add Sayed to it, who was not actually the part of the conference as created by the admin, but I want someone else to join this meeting as well, as let's suppose we just need him for some support. So I can add him. That can be done only by the admin. And that type of conference that is created or this type of connection is called ad hoc. Yeah. Rendezvous is nothing but just the scheduled one, which is planned, scheduled, and no other party or no other user can join it. Only the users which are planned and created as a part of the conference will be able to join. So these are the two types of conferences we can create, and that can be done through telepresence conductor for various telepresence server from one point. So it just gives you a one interface to manage all telepresence conductors. So a telepresence conductor simplifies video conferencing, orchestrating the different resources that are needed for each conference as required, whether it is for single telepresence server or several different telepresence server. It allows the video network to be configured so that the video conferences can be easily created, initiated, or accessed. The telepresence conductor is now available as a virtualized application on VMware, which was earlier a hardware device. Telepresence conductor we used to connect it physically only. But now with the help of virtual appliance, it is more easier to use. Also, some more features of it are there is resource optimization for telepresence server. So of course, it gives you resource optimization. Up to 30 telepresence servers can be controlled from the telepresence conductor. Single interface for conferencing provisioning. It is capable of clustering up to 3 conductors. So within the telepresence conductor, for redundancy, we can have up to 3 conductors for resiliency and increased capacity. So with more telepresence conductor, it not only just provides the redundancy, but also increase the capacity. Yeah. So capacity, like if one telepresence conductor supports 30 telepresence servers, that means 2 telepresence conductors will support plus 30, 60 telepresence servers, right? So up to 3 conductors can be added at maximum. You can use a CUCM expressway with telepresence conductor for call control and work with one or more CUCMs or expressways that is supported. To deploy telepresence server with telepresence conductor, these are some configurations we need to know that we need to configure on the telepresence server and telepresence conductor. That is, we need to create a user with admin privileges for the telepresence conductor who will be accessing the telepresence conductor and doing all the configuration tasks. So a web admin needs to be configured, which we will configure on the telepresence server. So that is done. Then install encryption keys. Encryption keys are required on telepresence server. Configure SIP settings, HT23 settings, configure operational modes. So these are some prerequisite configurations that we need to do. Apart from that, there are some more configurations that is required for telepresence and telepresence server and telepresence conductor to work. Let me do that. So for uh, deploying Cisco Telepresence server and to Telepresence conductor. What are the things we need to know as a part of configuration, because it is a bit lengthy. It's simple, easy, and with the configuration, you won't usually find any problems or any complexity are there. It's pretty straightforward, but as it is a bit lengthy, so you need to know the flow and how we do this deployment for telepresence server and telepresence conductor. So first thing you need to do always is to configure a user account, which will be an admin user account for conductor, for the telepresence conductor. I'm just writing it here like this with admin privileges. Then only he'll be able to manage things. So we have to give him admin privileges, who will be the owner and the admin of the telepresence conductor. Next, we need to configure some settings like SIP settings on telepresence, as they use SIP communication protocols between the SIP server and telepresence conductor. You can disable HT23 because that would not be even required. It gives you both the options because it can be used to connect to the endpoints also, which can be HT23. But when we are connecting telepresence server and conductor, for that only SIP would be required. So in the protocol settings, you can enable SIP only and disable HT23 to avoid any unnecessary protocol traffic. That is a recommendation. Telepresence server. So these are both the configurations which we do before the conductor can be accessed. So this is done on the telepresence server to allow the conductor to be able to manage it. Presence server configuration is. Then third part comes as deploying telepresence server. I'm just writing in short like this on telepresence conductor. So for that, on the conductor, we configure conference bridge pool We can configure multiple conference bridges. We can configure conference bridge. These are the two different things. First, we create a pool because different bridges can be a part of a bridge pool. And then we configure conference bridge. We configure service preference. All these will be some templates based. It will give you some form to fill some information with it. That is a prerequisite. Then we need to create templates, and it can be one template too based on your requirement. So basically, like in our lab, we'll be creating two templates, and we will associate those templates with the service preference. So these needs to be associated. Right? Once this is done, we need an alias to access these templates for these templates and the services to work. So create alias. So let's suppose if we have two templates, two alias for each template needs to be configured and then associate that with the template. Each one by one to each template. So one alias with one template, another with the other template. This is the next part of the configuration for deploying telepresence server and telepresence conductor. And lastly, for the calls to work, you need to have integration with Expressway or CUCM. So let's suppose we need the calls from outside. We have Expressway as we have in the lab. We can use that. So we can configure Expressway for conductor for the calls. On the expressway, it's the same pattern. We have to configure a neighbor zone. A neighbor zone that will be pointing to the conductor here, which is managing the telepresence server. Right? And then we need search route to conductor. So this part we are already familiar with, but for this lab, just to create a neighbor zone to conductor and search rule to conductor, we will just repeat this. Rest this you need to know are the prerequisites for the telepresence conductor to work and manage the telepresence servers. So these are the configurations. You need a user account with admin privileges. You need SIP settings to be configured on telepresence server, deploy telepresence server on telepresence conductor using bridge pool, bridge, conference bridge, service preference, templates, associate the templates with service preference, and create alias and associate them with the templates. And lastly, for it to work, configure expressway for conductor, and we can configure neighbor zones to conductor and search rules to conductor. Once we have done this part from our call flow standpoint, the endpoints, both expressway, we can use to test our telepresence conferences, and we will test.